Talk about this a little bit. It's going to be a big issue this week as we analyze where each of these candidates stands on the economy. We bring in Betsey Stevenson, a former member of the Council on Economic Advisors, and welcome back to the show. Betsey, it's good to have you on again. I was surprised a little bit to see that number Kelly just showed us, because every poll coming in said Trump, advantage on the economy and advantage on immigration. But again, as I said to Kelly, the economy is the big one. It's always been Trump's big issue. What about Harris and how maybe she differs from Biden? I'm not sure what leads to those numbers, probably just her overall momentum. But what would you say about her on the economy?
Well, I think voters unfairly give presidents too much credit when the economy is good, and then they give them too much credit when the economy is bad. And particularly when we're talking about those, real fluctuations in the economy, like we had a recent bout of inflation. That was about monetary policy and about coming out of the pandemic, not really about the kinds of policies coming out of one particular administration or another. If you thought there was any contribution of the president to that inflation, it actually came from handing out so much money to American households. But actually, much of that happened under President Trump, as under President Biden. And I think the last wave of stimulus payments that President Biden sent out were ones President Trump had called for. So every president likes to give money to people. If you give them too much money, we cause inflation.
Right.
So, I'm wondering if the voters are ready to walk a little bit away from all the anger over inflation now that the inflation rate has come down, but they're not willing to forgive President Biden for it. So that might be helping Harris out as she's getting a little bit of distance from the sort of rage people felt about inflation.
Maybe, yeah. Yep, go ahead and finish that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, I think the problems that people really feel about the economy, I think they're bigger and longer lasting than, is the economy good this month or this year versus last year? Is it good now or was it good when Trump was president? I think it's really what's been happening to the U.S. economy over decades that impacts how people really feel about it.
Oh, yeah, that is in the real world. In the political world, though, your first point was exactly right. You see those differences in the numbers, June, July, and August. Obviously, a difference in candidate means something, but it's from the same administration. I think you might be onto something, though. Maybe Biden was getting more of the blame, fair or unfair. Maybe he was getting too much of the blame. Some people, I'm sure, in his administration would say that was true. Whether that's the case or not doesn't really matter. It's the voters, you can't tell them what to think. They're going to think what they're going to think. And the Biden administration was complaining for forever and ever that all the media is not telling my story. And I would always say, it's on you to tell the story. You got to tell the story. And Harris now is out there telling a story. Is it different? Is she? Because I think the rub on Harris has always been that she's too far left, right? And we, here in New York, for example, there's a lot of, we're talking about how finance is such a big industry here in our last segment. A lot of those moderate Democrats that are in finance, they would say, I don't know. I like her on social issues, but she's a little bit left on economic issues. Is that fair or unfair for Harris?
I think both the Republicans and the Democrats are having to straddle parties where the far end of the party is farther than the center compared to the past. So Harris is definitely having to deal with far left of her party asking for things that the moderates in the party don't want. And, the same thing happens with the Republicans. Far right of the party is asking for things that the moderate Republicans don't want. And I think what we're going to see is which party does a better job of straddling those competing demands. Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, is a prosecutor, and there's only so progressive, you can only be seen as so progressive when you prosecuted criminals for most of your career.
Now, if you look at those issues on the screen, Betsey, that we have up now, Trump versus Harris, the hidden fees, I know Biden talked about that. But you see capping rent hikes, people, again, the Wall Street folks are going to say, that's rent control. We can't have that. That's that's not something you see in capitalism, right? She's going to get pushback on that. The no tax on tips, you can say, that's just because you're copying Trump, so she's going to get pushback on that. And, and some of the other issues that, seem more consumer, kind of more Elizabeth Warren-esque issues. Is that who she is economically or no?
I think we need to let her define herself more. Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily true. So you need to dig into the details on these policies, and that'll tell you how much it means. Look, I don't think there's a big difference between rent control and saying that it's not a good idea for somebody to hike your rent a lot in any particular given year. And, we do see particularly some big commercial apartment buildings, knowing that people hate to move and seeing just how much they can hike their rent before they can get them to pay the moving cost. And, that it's this constant sort of manipulation in the economy that I think leads people to experiences it is full of frictions.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.